That's right. You can just pay attention to your breathing. Pay attention to the in and the out of each breath. Perhaps first shifting, making the breath deeper to help notice that difference. And then just letting your breathing soften. Let the breathing soften and just take its own natural pace. No need to control it, for the breath is the breath of life. All life comes from the breath, from the proper way of the air coming in and going out, bringing in everything we need, releasing everything we don't. And perhaps letting your attention move from the breath to the rest of the body, perhaps to an area of tension or discomfort, and noticing what it does to bring the breath and the awareness to this spot. In and out. That relaxation flowing through the body, softening, shifting, releasing any unnecessary tension. And so too with the mind. With each exhalation, let go of any thoughts that are unnecessary at this time. Notice the temperature of your hands. Notice the position of the feet. You are creating an awareness of how your body feels now, to compare to when you've shifted it and changed it. Relax, feeling your body being held up by the earth and by that object you're sitting on. Feel supported, and with each and every breath, feel supported and safe. And know that what you experience here can only help, allowing your healing to take place in the best possible way. Take a moment to go to that place in your body that feels like your center, your core. It could be your heart, your belly, your head. You know what feels like your center. Breathe in now into that place. And next, bring your attention to what feels like your outer edge. Does your outer boundary stop at your skin, or does it go beyond your skin? There is no right or wrong, only your experience. Sense now both your inner core and the outer edge, and all that is in between. As you breathe, imagine or sense this outer edge and this inner core coming together, connecting, spreading perhaps a lattice in between them, holding you anchored in this body. so that all good things of benefit can flow from the inner core to the outer edge, and from the outer edge to the inner core, so that from here on, every image that's introduced affects and assists and heals the inner core and the outer edge and everything in between. And because of this, you can find yourself now flowing down into that place inside, to this community watch, this neighborhood watch center. Find yourself there at the neighborhood watch center, meeting with all the concerned citizens that live between your core and the outer edge. And you can find yourself listening to them, their concerns, hear them sharing their thoughts and ideas. Feel the sense of community, of caring, of connection that flows between all the people here, whether they agree on ideas or not. They are neighbors, and they know it. And eventually the discussion comes around to the bad influence, to those outsiders who have recently been moving in, changing things, making things a problem, not because of new ideas, new growth, not because of change, but because of the seeds of poison they've brought with them. And you hear as the neighbors talk about how the police have been unable to help because they can't tell who belongs here and who doesn't. And yet all of these neighbors discussing together know who does not belong. They know which ones are just different, as opposed to which ones have that rotten seed inside. And so go ahead and listen, and also lead them in the discussion of what would it be like if we could help those police do their job of finding the bad seed and taking them away. You hear lots of ideas about what to do. And you hear talk about how to find their houses and how to find them. And the problem is how to make it clear who belongs and who needs to be carried away. Eventually, they settle on a plan that you can find yourself feeling good about. The community will go door to door, everyone introducing themselves to each other, everyone assessing what each household needs to become stronger and yet more focused on belonging, on kindness, on being there for each other. Helping each home figure out what they need to take the bars down off the windows, to be able to come back out on their front porch, to be able to have one neighbor light a fire at dusk in their front yard and have all the neighbor kids bring their marshmallows over. What it takes for each household to be known to all the others as a place where good things can happen. And those with the poison seed. The plan is hatched. Let's mark these houses. Nothing new, and as a matter of fact, an old man in the back of the room speaks up, talks about what he learned in his childhood during the Great Depression, when all the hobos would mark out at the road symbols on the porch or on the front walk. A friendly woman lives here, or don't knock, run. And so that each and every house mysteriously was marked in a way that everyone in need knew what to expect. Kind of like those rules on Halloween about turning on your front porch light if you want to see children smile and laugh, and turning the light off if you don't. And so now go with these folks as they wander through the neighborhood, door to door, knocking, introducing themselves to each other, and becoming clear. Do we put the sign up on this house, all welcome here? Or do we put the sign up, this house is to be avoided? Walking through now this neighborhood, starting at the top of your neck, walking down one vertebrae at a time through the neighborhood, the crowd of friendly neighbors growing larger and larger, marking each and every home, each and every cell on the outside with a very clear marker. Good neighbor, bad seed. Starting at the top, working your way down, one vertebrae after another. The 7 vertebrae in the neck and skull. The 12 vertebrae in the middle of the back. The 5 vertebrae down at the bottom. The vertebrae connecting down into the tailbone. Feel yourself now shifting and changing as you become aware of each new good neighbor and each new bad seed. And notice this curious feeling growing in the crowd, even as they find pockets of lots of bad seed, how at beginning there's a tiny bit of fear that shows up in the crowd, a little rustle of worry, but then that sense of relief at being able to look into a crowd and know exactly who to hug and who to kick in the butt till they leave the house. Each and every house now marked. The cleanup can begin. Everyone gathering back at the town hall, at the community watch center, where the immune system cells are waiting in their shiny police uniform. And feel that sense of satisfaction as you and all the neighbors share now with them how to tell which cells to escort to the city limits and which ones they can smile, knock, and offer a piece of advice to. Everybody now getting to know the police of this town, and the police getting to know them. And the bad seed, easily identified, are easily tapped on the shoulder, collared, into the paddy wagon, and off and away. Isn't it nice to know that now, from this point forward, your body knows how to walk one cell at a time, one vertebrae at a time, knows how to walk through the hips, walk through the body, and be able to tag and identify very clearly markings on any inappropriate cell. Perhaps a new bumpy edge, something that stands out for those helpful community police to instantly detect their presence and eliminate them. Imagine your immune cells now becoming aware of all these abnormal, cancerous, bad seed cells and carrying them away, eliminating them. Sense or imagine, one vertebrae at a time, all abnormal cells leaving your body. You now, whole and healthy. Go once more now, back to that center, to your core, and again become aware of your outer edges. Become aware that all your normal, healthy cells have strong boundaries, but boundaries made out of caring, concern, and love for each other. Sometimes the strongest boundaries are the softest and the most giving. And any cancer cells have been removed. Sense yourself breathing from your core now and to your outer edges, flowing back and forth through those connections. The cells, the immune system cells, increasingly with each and every breath, doing a better job of identifying those bad seeds sooner and sooner. And each and every time you repeat this imagery, walking through your body, discovering new neighborhoods, exploring them, bringing them into the fold, you discover the power of this grows and the ability to just take a deep breath and sigh and feel good, knowing more and more of your insides are working together to create a kinder, softer, and yet safer community. By knowing each other, being open to each other, and allowing the bad seed to be identified and carried away. And so with this knowledge, taking another couple deep breaths in and saying a deep, heartfelt thank you to these communities within for the work they did today and the work they continue to do.
Thank you. Thank you, community, for the work you do, for identifying the bad cells and what they're doing to my bones, and the good cells that are stuck next to the bad cells, and getting through the maybe difference so that the good cells can go to work rebuilding that neighborhood.
Yes, rebuilding. And that can begin now. Just again, starting at the top of the head, the first vertebrae in the neck, flow down through each vertebrae and notice now each neighborhood reclaiming one house at a time, like a barn raising, coming together, going through the homes and noticing the twisted insides from the bad seed, identifying what needs to be done in each and every house cell to bring it back to health, reconverting its DNA, improving its flexibility on the inside, bringing back up that initial DNA and spreading it on the kitchen table for the whole work team to see this original blueprint of a healthy cell. And using those blueprints, it's so easy to look around and say, this wall needs to come down. That wall needs to be reinforced. We'll replace this cheap plastic piping with some good metal piping. And we'll take the bars off the windows. The community watches out for this house now. One house at a time, one vertebrae at a time, each and every cell being rehabilitated by changing the DNA back to its original healthy way. And sense or imagine how at this point it is so easy to notice the homes that still have bad seed in them. And how easy it is. Kids walking down the street can notice, and they just turn and smile instead of being in fear and call to an adult who just smiles, turns, and calls to the immune cells who sweep in and take care of that bad seed. Each and every house rebuilding, each and every bad seed more and more clearly marked, more and more clearly marked on the outside. And perhaps notice that some houses perhaps were used too badly, or the chemicals used in them did too much damage or permeated too deep into the cell, and the cell just cannot be rebuilt. The house needs to be condemned. The neighborhood comes together and does that too. They even help out those neighbors who can't reclaim their houses, and instead borrow blueprints from nearby to create new houses for them, even as the old ones are broken down and the pieces carted away, spirited away, removed from the community, removed from the body, flushed out, gotten rid of, broken down, destroyed, so that they never contaminate another house again. That's right. We can drill down into each home, find the core of health, find the DNA core, replicate it throughout, bringing all back to wholeness, and anything else flushed away. You can mark the homes as condemned. You can shift off the gas inside the house, shift off the electricity, shift off the water so nothing feeds this house until it is removed, until it dies its own death. All and any abnormal cells remaining have either regained their ability to repair themselves in all their DNA, or are being broken down and removed even as we speak, so that you can see that all your cells are healthy and only the healthy ones are thriving. Only the healthy ones are thriving. Only the healthy ones are thriving. The bad seed look weaker and weaker each day. The bad seed no longer have electricity flowing in, water flowing in, gas flowing in, and even more importantly, no longer. They've lost their ability to create fear. The neighborhood grows and thrives around those isolated, trapped, dying, withering cells. Only the healthy cells are thriving. And so when you are ready, bring your awareness again to your breath. Feel your hands and notice flowing through your body this new sense of safety, kindness, and peace, and anchor it in with whatever symbol seems to fit for you. Perhaps making a symbol of a smile in your head, perhaps squeezing your hands together. Whatever symbol stands for you as a reminder of this new sense of community growing inside, one vertebrae, one cell, one block at a time. And when you're ready to bring this awareness back with you, you can just take a really big, deep breath in, stretch, and open your eyes.